It's FIFA Club World Cup semi-final picks edition of the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Get up to a $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at underdogfantasy.com. Promo code PLGP. Welcome, everybody, to the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Sunday, July the 6th. We are here to have a look back over the FIFA Club World Cup quarter-final games, which happened around the weekend, and the semi-finals, picks and analysis coming up for the games on Tuesday and Wednesday. Joining me is Mr. Barry Penaluna. Barry, what's happening?
Not a lot. I'm just looking at how fresh I'm looking on screen here. I'm looking quite vibrant today. Do you not think?
Well, vibrant was a better word than fresh. Do you mean as in the colour? You're quite a vibrant colour.
Well, yeah, I've had a bath. I've had a shave, so I'm a little bit red. I have picked up sunburn today. Can you believe it? I mean, you can believe it, obviously. Went to a football tournament today and out there in Lincolnshire. Absolutely torrential rain most of the day. Fortunately, I had the gazebo, so everyone was under cover. And I've still managed to come back with sunburn. Like, honestly, heavens have opened today. And somehow I've still managed to... That sun was up there somewhere behind all those clouds, and it's managed to find its way through onto my head.
Singled you out, Baz, didn't it?
Yeah.
Big target. What were the results of the football tournament?
We did all right in the group stage, and then had a frantic quarter-final game. We went 1-0 up, and then we stayed 1-0 up till about 2 minutes from the end, and we went 1-1, 2-1 down, straight back up the other end to 2-2, and then lost with the last kick of the game. It was a proper mad last minute of the game. So we lost in the quarterfinals, but we played well. I mean, it was a good tournament, actually. It was a lot of well-matched teams. We were competitive in every game and gave a good account of ourselves. Very fine margins.
Bit of a Real Madrid Dortmund ending to the game. So. Injury time goals. It's quite a flat, featureless landscape, Lincolnshire. I think I've only been once properly when we went down to play. We went to rugby to play baseball a couple of years ago, and there's just nothing there, is there?
It's a weird one. Like, to get there, like if you look on a map, for me, it's not that far for me to get to Louth where we were. But once you get past Lincoln and you get onto the single roads, it's just an awful journey across. It took us an hour and 20 minutes each way today to get there. Where, like, as the crow flies, it's about 20 miles from my house or something. Like, and it's the same. If you look at the nearest beach to me, because obviously Nottingham's landlocked, you could go to Skegness. It would take me about 2.5 hours or 2 hours to get to Skegness. I could almost be in the northeast and go to Tynemouth in the same time it takes me to get to Skegness. It's that stupid.
I remember that. Like, we met at Weatherby Service or something, and it was about that far on the map, and then it was just never ending. You could never reach your destination. I'm sure Callum's from Lincolnshire.
He is, yeah. He is.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, well remembered. Callum is here, by the way. He's not in Lincolnshire tonight, though. He's in Iron Appa, Barry. Iron Appa. Yeah, having a fishbowl for the lads. Good, Callum. Don't do anything we wouldn't do. Harry Dougherty's well into the World Cup now. Chelsea in the semi-finals. Absolutely loves it. Favourite all-time tournament.
This is what I told you, Malcolm. There's only you and about 3 other people who are actually watching this tournament. Even the Chelsea fans who are now in semi-finals have got no interest in it.
Well, good. 2 big questions for you then, Barry. A, have you watched any of it? Have you watched any of it? At this point, Barry, you really should stick it out now. You should try it.
I should. I tried not to stick it out. So, I watched 20 minutes of football.
Oh, boo.
I gave in. What happened was the PSG buying game was on, and I was home, so I thought there's no excuse not to watch this. So the first part was trying to find it. It was a pain. I couldn't find what channel it was on. Nobody seemed to
It's
be
on
sure.
DAZN, isn't it?
DAZN. And then, so I found it on the dodgy Fire Stick on DAZN. But even then, I had to go down to like DAZN channel number 7 or something like that.
California, DAZN, California,
and
Baz,
then
on the
American
dodgy thing.
commentators. So this isn't a serious tournament, is it? What is going on? And then, by the time I tuned in, it was probably 20 minutes into the game. So I maybe watched 25 minutes, got to half time, and then whatever channel I was watching on DAZN on the dodgy Fire Stick turned over to some sort of sledging races, like going down hills on a like a luge thing, not in the snow or anything, just going down hills really fast on.
Well, not on the snow, like on the grass.
No, on concrete, like on roads, little country roads, down hills. It was like a downhill sledding thing. I don't know. It's bizarre. I've never seen anything like it before. But I watched that instead of the second half of the PSG buying game. I just sat there and refused to turn it over and watched a load of this sledding. So, yeah, people going really fast on little tiny sledges.
You've watched more
essentially
downhill
just lying back
concrete
on
sledging.
a little skateboard type of thing.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
You'll be
How
good
was
at
the
that.
buying game anyway? Was that good? I didn't watch the second half.
Well, we'll get on to the games in a minute. Probably they've all been out. I've enjoyed it.
I have watched 20 minutes. I did see the first half, and I thought, I mean, the commentators were getting excited about how great the game was, and it was all right. It was end to end, but it still had, for me, like a bit of a pre-season friendly type of feel to it, and I think that's just due to like the lack of atmosphere, not necessarily what's going on the pitch, but just the crowd, because particularly these two teams who've normally got such a vociferous support wherever they go in Europe, PSG Ultras and Bayern are a noisy lot, and it just felt really flat, and I think that always gives a sort of bad impression of the game, despite the fact the game was probably all right. Obviously, I got to the point I saw Musiala break his leg, which was a massive blow for Bayern Munich and for Germany. Yeah. But here, Bayern Munich walk away with 70 million from FIFA just for showing up for this thing, so they can afford to replace him now, can't they?
4 months from Musiala, one of those things, like it happens. Joe joined us in the chat. Joe spotted my Chargers top. Joe's going to guess who's on the back. And Andy Keynes. Andy, welcome along. I was going to mention the Brazilian teams. Andy's talking about the Brazilian teams because I watched the game on Friday night in the 3 Mile, the Fluminense Al Hilal game. And there was 2 Fluminense fans in the pub, kitted out a couple. A man and a lady, just establishing because you can't be too careful. But they were bang into it, Baz. This is the thing. I saw, my Brazilian correspondent, Tiger. I took a sneaky photo. I was like, oh, look at these 2 Fluminense fans. He said, oh, that's a really retro top, the one bloke's got on. And they were bang. They were watching it like we'd be watching Newcastle v Liverpool on Boxing Day, when you're in, like up and down, and no one else cared. Like, we were getting a few funny, but they were front and centre, big screen, up and down like a bride's night. He's shouting, bawling. The VAR got thing. They were shouting at that. There was glasses everywhere. They were absolutely banging into it. So,
and everyone else,
I enjoyed the Fluminense
fans. Everyone else was waiting for them to turn over to watch the sledging, weren't they?
The downhill concrete sledging. And I think that's it, Barry. So the second question is, how were the goose feather pillows? This is what the nation wants to know, Barry.
Nice, yeah. They're different, but I've slept well, so that's the bonus. But yeah, they plump up lovely, but they are softer than I thought, so they do sink in. But yeah, very comfortable. Like, I'm quite happy with them.
Okay, very good. That's good. Okay, the only other football thing I wanted to mention was Kyle Walker going to Burnley. Because it officially, now Lee's not here, Smudger. I don't know where he is, but I've got a whole Burnley Lee Kyle Walker joke lined up. So do I wait for Lee to get back or do I do the joke?
You do the joke. Lee will listen in, won't he?
So Kyle Walker joined Burnley which relegated Lee to the second biggest contributor of child support in the Burnley council area. So Lee's down to second behind Kyle Walker in his side. There we go. Topical,
Well
topical humour. Joe's guess Troy Dye. It's not a Troy Dye shirt, is it?
I know who's on it.
No, right, fair enough. I think that's all the crack. We'll get on to the picks. I'm going to read some adverts out, Baz, if you're going to press the buttons, etc. Oh, no, I'll tell you what we'll do. Every podcast on the network is free by subscribing to the SGPN feed. Get that wherever you get your podcasts. Circa Million and Circa Survivor enter Circa's football contest with $21 million in guaranteed prizes. No rake. If entries go above the guarantee, all extra money will go to the prize pool. Circa Million, you pick 5 teams against the spread each week for the ultimate sweat. And then there's the Circa Grandissimo $100,000 Survivor contest. Back it up. You've got to register in person at Circa Sportsbook in Nevada. Sign up in Nevada, play from anywhere with the help of SGPN's official proxy. Go to footballcontest.com. Use promo code SGP to get $50 off your proxy fees. And we're brought to you by mybookie.ag, your place to bet on every sport, including MLB, WNBA, golf, and football futures. MyBookies accepts customers from a ton of locations. Easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. T's and C's apply at mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN and also PLGP if you want to do that. I nearly did it, Baz. Yes, was his name Darren Sproles, this bloke on my shirt? I think that's his name, isn't it?
It is Darren Sproles.
Yes, you're correct. Half a point. Matty Ice is in the chat. Matty, welcome along. He's been to a few of the games in MetLife Stadium and enjoyed it, so that's good to know, Matty. Picks-wise, Baz, another winning week for me. This tournament's been really kind. I've enjoyed it. 3 for 4. So 6.2 units back for the 4 staked. Both teams to score in Fluminense and Al Hilal, I thought was never really in doubt. Was just wide open. That was the handicap. Was nearly all the games have been wide open. Chelsea to win just got the bit of a spawny deflection in the 84th minute, but I'll take it. And then the over 3.5 in Madrid against Munich was a little bit lucky. Lovely late goals. I mean, 2-0 entering the 91st minute, and the game finished 3-2. I know Andy Williams. Oh, in fact, Andy Williams mushed himself completely. Sent me a message saying when Madrid went 3-1 up, saying, "Oh, that injury time goals just won me 240 quid." Because part of his bet builder was Madrid to win by 2 or more. And, and what was funny about this, Baz, was I'd paused the live telly, to show Bob like Mbappe's overhead kick. So in the night, it was on pause for 90 seconds while Bob came through. And then I got a message of Andy going, shit, miss. So I knew something had happened in the meantime. So I was 90 seconds behind. Andy was going through purgatory. He completely and utterly jinxed himself. But the goals were good. The one I got wrong was PSG and Real. PSG and Bayern. First half goals, which could have hit on another day. There was enough chances. They just didn't go in till later on. So 3 out of 4. Happy with that, Baz. I think you did all right, bearing in mind you hadn't seen any of it.
Yeah, I mean, started off badly because I took unders in the Al Hilal Fluminense game, and I took Palmeiras to double chance. So a little bit unlucky, like you say. Palmeiras could easily have come away with a 90-minute draw, and that would have been a winner. But finished strongly. I say strongly, but I scraped in by those injury time winners because I had the PSG team total, PSG to score 2 or more, and I also had both to score and over 2.5 goals in the Real Madrid game. So those injury time goals again. But I'd like to point out I've also cashed another winner. The pre-tournament outright picks for me. Bear in mind, I went 3 out of 3 on the group betting. My lock, my best bet for the outright was PSG to get to the semi-finals at 5-4.
Okay.
So we'll cash that one. And I've got PSG to win it outright at 5. So the pre-tournament stuff's all been really good. I should have just came along them couple of shows and then just cleared off for a couple of weeks.
That's pretty much what you have done, really, Barry.
Essentially, yeah.
Essentially, that is what you've done. And talking to those lovely, lovely late goals, Barry, the race to 196. It's going to be a photo finish, Baz. Well, I mean, win or lose, it's been a proper good, fun bet. So 13 goals in those 4 quarterfinals took us up to 186. So we've blown past the baseline of 183. 13 we need now. No, sorry, 10, obviously. We're trying to get to 196. So we need 10 in 3 games. So 2 3s and a 4. But well, I've been kicking. And like I say, I wish I'd taken maybe a middle rung in the ladder rather than leap from 183 to 196. But those 3 injury time goals and then the Chelsea Benfica game where it was going to finish 1-0 and then finished 4-1. And they've absolutely helped me out. But equally, there's been some penalty misses and all sorts of stuff like that. So, yeah, 10 goals will get us a 6-1 winner. But regardless, it's been a decent effort. And we have blown past that baseline of 183. And finally, Barry, the question that is on, well, it's not the question, the subject that is on everybody's lips. I mentioned last week the replacement to battleships. Kick-off will be sorted now. Don't get excited, everyone. I know it's been at the water cooler at work. Everyone's been talking about it this week. Oh, have you heard? Mal and Baz are going to start playing kick-off and all that. Don't get too excited because we're not starting tonight. We're just going to prep a little bit more. Earlier on today, I photographed a lot of the cards, sent the photograph to Barry. I then outlined the main rules in a Barry called it a 500-word essay, which I'm not sure it was that, Barry. So my question to you and the listeners, by the way, watchers, readers, listeners, pay attention to this. If you've got any questions, because I won't be repeating myself, you need to understand this now, or you've got till the next show to answer. Barry, did you understand it? Do you have any questions? Is there anything you'd like to know moving forward before we potentially kick off on Thursday?
I've got no questions. I think I understand it. It sounds like a really good game to maybe sit across the table and have a few beers and probably be quite fun. Doing it long distance, virtually, I'm not quite so sure. I'm skeptical, I'll be honest, very skeptical. And I'm not sure how it's going to translate to our podcast listeners as well. But then again, we did play battleships for about 3 months. So, you know.
That, Barry, you see, I'm a pioneer, Barry. And this is why we're doing it, mainly for the silliness. We tried to have a bit of a family tournament yesterday, but we didn't get past the group stages because Bob had a strop because I'd thrashed him 4-0. And the 2 females played out a 1-1 draw and then lost interest in that. But, you know, it was fun. The only problem with Bob's gutted because once me and you start playing, we can't use the game anymore because we will have it. It's going to be out of action for the 4 or 5 months it takes us to play. So anyway, we'll endeavour to possibly kick off. What we might do is just the toss, maybe the national anthems and the toss on Thursday, and we'll kick off next Sunday, something like that. But there you go. I think, Barry, that is all my crack. Do you have anything to say before we make these picks?
No, I'm raring to get into these picks, me, Malcolm.
No, I absolutely raring to go. The first thing actually I wanted to look at, Baz, was just the outright market. Because, well, just in case anyone wanted to make a pick on it, obviously we've got 4 teams left. And the 2 semi-finals are PSG Real and then Chelsea take on Fluminense. And the bookies obviously make that side of the draw, PSG Real, the most likely winner. So you've got PSG 11-8 plus 137. Madrid 15-8 plus 187. Chelsea 11-4 plus 275, and Fluminense all the way out to 12-1. I mean, out of those 4, I've made 2 picks in order of preference here, Baz. I mean, where would you stand on that?
I think it's a tricky market, isn't it? Because I do think the winner will come from that first game. But then you've got to pick who's going to win that game, haven't you? And given the fact 11-8 PSG would be the team I would go for because I've took them pre-tournament. but you're getting not far off 11-8 for them to beat Real Madrid in 90 minutes. So I'd almost be tempted to just take them in that first. So yeah, there wouldn't be anything that appealed to me at this stage.
You can actually bet 365. We've got Madrid on a little price boost to 2-1. So the two for me would be the two outsiders in the two games. Like I say, if you put a gun to me head with a tenner, I think Madrid 2-1. I think all four teams are capable of winning, and all four teams look a little bit vulnerable in spots. So I think the outsiders, certainly Fluminense at 12-1, would be my second choice. And I'd probably go for like I say, Madrid at a 2-1 in there. But yeah, I just thought it was worth a little look. The semi-finals take place on Tuesday and Wednesday. They're both 8 p.m. Kickoffs, which is 3 p.m. Eastern time. We'll get into them once I've told you about Underdog, Best Ball Mania happening all summer long, giving away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million to first place. No waiver wire, no arguments about trades. Best Ball is the best way to play fantasy football. Use our code PLGP to claim a special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code PLGP. And you've heard us talk about rhythm plenty on the show. Power Trends is a new feature, game changer. Power Trends are AI-detected patterns where rhythm's model is consistently won and has a high ROI. Power Trends are updated daily and exclusive to Rhythm. No touts, no noise, just clean data-backed bets. Download the Rhythm app. Check out Power Trends and start betting smarter. Get your 7-day free trial. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. First up, Tuesday, Fluminense taking on Chelsea. 17-4 plus 425. Fluminense 27-10 plus 270. The draw 7-10 minus 142. Chelsea. The problem I've got here immediately is the prices. I just think they're wrong because I took Chelsea in the last round to beat Palmeiras in 90 minutes. They won narrowly, but they were 21-20. They were plus 105. And now it's the same game, Brazilian team, not much in between Flu and Palmeiras from what I've seen so far. It's the same game. And now you to back Chelsea, you've got to take them at 7-10. And I just can't do it. Having watched them scrape in with a late deflected goal. So I thought there were value to win that game. I don't think the value to win this game. The form of a late win against Palmeiras, an extra time win against Benfica, a defeat to Flamengo, that's not form that makes me want to pile into Chelsea. It's 7-10. Fluminense against Al Hilal was a good game, Baz. You've got to remember Fluminense was 7-4 underdogs in that game as well, which in hindsight, I regret not getting a little bit of Flu on side because I think they were the better team. It was a good game, but they were the better team. They probably just deserved it. My main play here is that I took both teams to score in that Fluminense game and won. It hit also in the Chelsea game, which finished 2-1. It's a big price, even money. All of these games are seeing goals. The PSG Bayern 2-0 was the only one that didn't have BTTS. And I thought that was a false final. That could have been anything. Goalies are making saves. Like, there was chance after chance after chance. I just don't know why you wouldn't take both teams to score even money, Baz.
Well, I haven't. I'll tell you why, because I've found something else. But to be honest, I don't know who in their right mind is paying any attention to my thoughts on these games. But anyway, for what it's worth, here we go. I mean, I faded Chelsea last time out against Palmeiras. Obviously failed, but not by a million miles. But I faded them because I think they're potentially vulnerable to a half-decent side. They did nothing in the group that wasn't expected of them. They beat Tunis, they beat LA, and as you say, lost to Flamengo. And you've already mentioned the form in the knockouts, needing extra time against Benfica and a late win against Palmeiras. So they're getting the job done, but they're certainly not getting it all their own way. It hasn't all been plain sailing. And Fluminense are another decent side. They're unbeaten in the competition. They've kept 3 clean sheets in their 5 games so far. And I think it's fair to say they've had a tougher schedule than Chelsea have in this. The standouts being a draw against Dortmund in the first game and that draw as well, by the way, they kept Dortmund out, with Dortmund having come into this tournament absolutely full of goals, kept a clean sheet there. And then a 2-0 win against Inter Milan. So two solid sort of games to compare with here. And it's those two games that give me reason to support Fluminense here, and the fact they've kept a clean sheet in both of those games against two good sides. And I think the price is attractive enough. My first thought when I came to it before looking at everything was the draw. I thought there's a good chance this will be a tight one, draw 27-10. But you're giving me Fluminense double chance, so I'm getting the draw on my side anyway, but also getting Fluminense in there. 11-10. I'll take Fluminense double chance at 11-10.
I completely agree with you, Barry. If I picked a side, that would be it. Say Chelsea played three decent sides, 1-1 in 90 minutes, 1-1, drew one, lost one. Got past Benfica in extra time, but 90-minute betting. Completely agree with you. That 7-10 is far too short, Baz. I put a little bet builder together. We didn't just want to give out one pick on each game. We need to get a bit of value for money. So I put a 7-1 bet builder together for this, Baz. I did a little bit of half decent research as well. I didn't just put it out my arse. Both teams to score is my main pick, so I put that in because I do think it's a very good price. I put the over 2.5 goals in with it. Both teams just played a 2-1 in the last round, so we're all right with that. So BTTS and over 2.5. And then two more players to boost it up. Over 4 Chelsea corners. Chelsea averaging 5.75 corners per game in the tournament. So over 4 Chelsea corners. And the final leg was 2 or more Cole Palmer shots on target. Now, he's had 6 in the 5 games. So 1.16 recurring. So the 2 is a stretch over that. But
he's only played 4 games though, Malcolm. He missed one of them.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. 6 and 4. Fucking hell. I shot up to 1.5. But he's grown into the tournament more, was my point. He just looks better. He scored a good goal. He's on the free kicks. He's on penalties. So we got loads of angles in to get that 2 shots on target. So BTTS and over 2.5 with over 4 Chelsea corners in 2 shots on target for Cole Palmer. 7-1, Baz. Do you have anything else on this game?
Yeah, I've took a little stats double. So a similar price, 6-1 mine is. I've also got Cole Palmer involved. I've got Cole Palmer for 4 shots. So not shots on target. He's covered this in 3 of his 4 starts, and he's hit 6 in 2 of them. So yeah, Cole Palmer 4 shots, and then Jean Arias 3 or more shots for Fluminense. He blanked in the last game, didn't have a single shot, but he's hit 13 in his other 4 games, and he's hit this line on 3 occasions, and he hit the 3 against Inter and Dortmund. So yeah, the double, Palmer 4+ shots, and Arias 3+ shots, 6-1.
Okay, nice, Baz. So we're on the same page there.
And I could have just add, Malcolm, I also didn't just. Can I just add? I also didn't just pull that out of my arse. I did a bit of research there.
Very good, Barry. Very good. A couple of bonus plays. I was 3 days early with the kick-off in USA v Mexico. It actually kicks off in 90 minutes from now. And the cards market is up there. 5-2 for a red card, plus 250. So we've got to play in that. And I did want to mention, there's a play I really like in the Women's Euros on Monday night, Portugal against Italy. I watched Spain absolutely dismember Portugal in the first game. Portugal conceded so many goals, it's terrifying. They conceded the most goals in qualifying by a country mile. Spain looked like they could have scored a gazillion. The Italian women team total over 1.5 is 5-6, minus 120. So a little cheeky Italy team total on Monday. That's a Monday night 8 p.m. kickoff. So that just popped into my head earlier on, so I've remembered to say it out loud. The second semi-final here. Sorry, Joe's just asking about the USA-Mexico cards. Yeah, 5.5, Joe, you're right. I've got the same line as you at 5.5. It's juiced as well. It's really juiced to the over. I think it's minus 140 to the over. But I don't. That red card played 5-2 plus 250. I think would be the out of the options. I did have a little look. I looked at the Asian lines, handicap shit like that. The red card play looked like it was most value, Joe. But hopefully they do go and kick 7 bells out of each other. 8 o'clock Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. PSG Real Madrid. What a great looking game this is. Inside 90 minutes, PSG 13-10 plus 130. The draw 27-10 plus 270. Real Madrid 15-8 plus 187. You want to lead us off, Baz?
Yeah, absolutely. PSG 4 wins and 1 defeat in this so far, and Real Madrid unbeaten, 4 wins and a draw. Standout for me in the PSG form is their defensive record. All 4 of them wins coming with a clean sheet. So just 1 goal conceded in their 5 games. Obviously, that was a bit of a blip, the 1-0 defeat to Botafogo, but otherwise it's been relatively comfortable. 12 goals scored, none conceded from the other 4 games they've played in total. I mean, the 2-0 buy-in on paper looks easier than it was because it was a very late last goal. And as I say, buy-in did create plenty in the 20 minutes that I watched. But I took PSG at the start based off the momentum they had coming into the tournament. They'd just beaten Inter 5-0 in the Champions League final, but also due to the strength of their squad and the fact that they can make several changes and still not really have a big drop-off. Real Madrid, I think, have had they had a very straightforward group, so no surprise that they finished top of it. And then they faced 2 half-decent sides in Juve and Dortmund. And I say half-decent because there were 2 sides who only finished 4th in their domestic leagues. So I do think there's no doubt PSG represents a tougher game, the toughest game Real Madrid have had yet. And PSG have arguably had a tougher game coming into this, having just faced Bayern Munich. I just see no reason not to continue to take PSG here, who, in my opinion, are probably the best side in the world at the moment. So them going and winning the World Club Cup might be appropriate. I'll take PSG here in 90 minutes at 13-10.
Right, okay. In what is going to prove to be no help at all then to the listeners, I'm taking Real Madrid in 90 minutes. I think if you get Real Madrid at 15-8 to beat anybody, it's got to make you sit up and take notice. And honestly, the prices are too far apart. I don't really know what Real Madrid have done wrong to be this size of an underdog. 1-1 with Al Hilal, fair enough. Al Hilal have proved to be a tricky out. I mean, they duffed up Manchester City and Madrid missed a late penalty. They then cruised past Pachuca with 10 men. They played the entire game with 10 men. And then they've beaten 3 European opponents. Fair enough, Salzburg, 3-0. Juventus and Dortmund, as you mentioned. Actually, that 3-2 against Dortmund really flattered the Germans because Madrid were 2-0 up and cruising after half an hour. And then the last few minutes went a little bit of a madness. Madrid were value for a really comfortable win in that. They get Mbappe back. He played the last 20 minutes or so the other day. PSG haven't done much wrong either. I'll grant you that. They've beat 2 MLS sides. They've lost to Botafogo. And the game v Bayern was actually a similar comp to this. Really could have gone either way, Barry. Like the entire game could have gone either way. And then Bayern ran into that issue with Musiala, which had to sort of knock them a little bit going into the second half. And that's my handicap, is that in a game that I think 100% could go either way, I'm getting one of the teams at 15-8. It's a toss of a coin, like. You can be 15-8, heads or tails. So Real Madrid at 15-8. And I'm just going to play them straight up inside 90 minutes. There's no point pissing about. Yeah, I think they're good value. So I'll take Madrid. You put a little bet builder together, Baz?
Oh, I have, yeah. I didn't mind both teams to score twice. I think there could be goals at both ends in this one. Both teams to score twice at 13-5 or something that appealed to me. But I've gone for a little stats pick again. This time it's 7-1, and it's Mbappe and Kvaratskhelia. 2 shots on target each. Mbappe, as you say, played 20 minutes in each of the last 2 games now, I think. So I'd be expecting him to start here. He's had his little sort of welcome back. But even if not, I mean, he managed 2 shots on target in the 20 minutes that he played against Dortmund the other day. And Kvaratskhelia had at least 1 in every game, and he's hit 2 or more in 3 of the 5 games. So the double here, Mbappe and Kvaratskhelia at 7-1 for 2 shots on target each.
I love the fact you think both teams to score twice each. That would help getting us to 196 bars if there's minimum 4 goals in this. Kvaratskhelia the other night, it just wistfully sent me back when he got the ball to Jack Grealish. and the fucking difference between what Grealish was and what he could have been and what Kvaratskhelia does, because they're quite similar to look at, similar gait, the position. And every time Kvaratskhelia gets the ball, he just thinks, right, what mayhem can I cause here? I'm just going to run towards the goal, skin this bloke, skin that bloke, get a shot off. And Grealish gets it, takes 3 steps that way, and knocks it back to the fullback. And the fact that that's what Kvaratskhelia has been coached out to Grealish, is horrendous. So I'm going to take Madrid to qualify, which is even money. Just put it in the bet builder, a little safety net. I have got them in 90 minutes, but it's a little safety net. Madrid to qualify evens. I'm going to add in both teams to score, which seems like a little bit of a no-brainer pass. And then I've got a player on each side to do some stuff. Gonzalo Garcia, who's been the find of the tournament, really, kid for Real Madrid. If Mbappe does start, that might knock Garcia starting. But I think Garcia starts. 1 shot on target for Garcia. He scored in all 3 knockout games. He's had 28 touches in the opposition box, which is most by any Real player. So he can get a shot on target. And then I'm going with Donnarumma saves. I feel like I've watched Donnarumma make loads of saves all season long. Watched a lot of PSG, and he's made a ton of saves. 14 saves in the knockout round so far. Saved 2 penalties in this tournament as well. The question I had to pose to myself, Barry, was how far up the ladder. If I add in 3 saves, we get 5-1. 4 saves is 8-1. So I'll not be your mum. I'll let you choose whatever you want to put in that. Madrid to qualify, both teams to score. Garcia 1 shot on target. 3 or more Donnarumma saves is 5-1. Or 4 or more Donnarumma saves is 8-1. Baz, I think we've done it. 37 minutes, nice and short tonight with only 2 games to handicap. Anything else you want to picks you want to give out, or crap you want to tell the people? Any more Tory?
I am done.
Tory home furnishings.
I'm absolutely knackered. I'm ready for a good slip. Having been, as told you, I was in Derbyshire all day yesterday for tournaments. Lincolnshire today. 7 o'clock, 6:30 wake ups both days. It's ridiculous. So I'm ready for my pit now.
Good, fair enough. I was back on the sidelines today, Baz, coaching for the first time in 4 or 5 years. Kind of enjoy. Went down to Sunderland. Got soaked in the rain as well. But yeah, I quite enjoyed it. I made a bit of a tit to myself once, which isn't bad for me. That's the problem. I need to limit the amount of times I make a tit to myself. But yeah, once I can work on that. Thank you very much, Barry. That was all right. We'll probably come back on Thursday, where Thursday makes more sense for the final, and possibly the kickoff of kickoff. Don't want to rush into anything, but I'm not going to say we're definitely going to kick off, but we might kick off. Thank you, everybody who joined us in the chat. I know there's not much footy going on, but it's nice to just relax and let the whole thing breathe a little bit. Barry, cheers. Good luck with all your bets, everybody. And we will see you all down the road. Cheers.